Did you know that choosing the right colors are the most important part of painting? No? Well, that's because that's not true. Is color important? Of course, but there's something else you need before learning color to make sure that your paintings work, or in other words, look like what you want them to look like. So what is it? Value is just the term we use to talk about the relative lightness or darkness of a color. Essentially, values visually describe light, since none of us can see anything without light. So as artists, we need to pay special attention to light. Values are pretty easy to see if you squint your eyes, or better yet, see things in grayscale. You can have beautiful colors, but if your values are all out of whack, it's gonna be kind of hard for your viewers to tell what's going on in your artwork. But on the flip side, if your values are on point, then you can literally use any colors. But don't take my word for it, I'm gonna prove it to you. Let's revise this video's intro to, did you know that if you go to color filters on your iPad, turn it on to grayscale, and then choose colors that do not go together, you can still create a great painting using those colors. So I've prepped this sketch from a photo reference, and then I picked a bunch of colors that I would personally never use together, but I did make sure to have a large variety of values. Everything from bright yellow to dark purple to mid-tone green and more. This should give me all the tools I need to make this painting look believable. I've then taken the color palette, rotated it, and liquefied it using the crystallize effect, which basically just makes all the colors bleed into each other a little bit. So now I really have no clue what I'm gonna end up with. Remember when I said that values are the relative lightness or darkness of a color? That's really all they are, but there's a lot more to it if you look a little closer. For example, did you know that some colors will inherently appear darker or lighter than others? True red, for example, is quite dark. I mean, if it were lighter, it'd be called pink, and it would have an entirely different effect. The same is true for yellow, but in the inverse. Is dark yellow anyone's favorite color? So that's one rabbit hole regarding values, but another one is the fact that we've actually found a way to organize different values within a piece so that it's not as confusing to look at. So learning how to use values can make your art more readable from far away and look like a thing that could actually exist, even if you highly stylize your art. However, if you wanted to confuse your viewers or hide a message in your art for only the non-colorblind, you could also use values to do that and cause chaos. So whatever your goal, you still need to understand your tools before you can use them effectively. So how do you study values? Well, one way is to pick an image that you really like from a piece of media that was intentionally designed by someone. Keyframes from movies or shows are great for this, but you can also look at master artists and photographers. It's really important to use images that were made by people though, because you need to analyze their decisions, which is exactly why you are not going to be honing your copier skills here. Instead, break that reference image down into more simplified shapes of value. Squinting really helps for this. Because you're not copying now, you can try to figure out why your reference works. For me, it helps to ask myself questions, like, if the light is coming from this direction, how come the shadow here isn't as dark as I thought it would be? The answer here is because light is actually being reflected back at the subject, and you wouldn't have figured that out without the reference. Try to learn to observe your own thoughts by asking yourself how you would have gone about painting this particular subject. Then, check your assumptions against the reference. If you do this, you can start to notice how values naturally work, not just how you think they work. Now, another similar way to study values is to make grayscale photo studies. Here's one I made when I was first starting out. It helps to really try and push yourself by polishing up those nifty little details in the reference, rather than stopping at simplifying shapes of value like you might in a keyframe study. But you still need to start with those big shapes, not the details. Never start with the details. Observing your own thoughts during the process of a painting can also be helpful, because what if you don't end up liking the way a study comes out, even though it's an accurate representation of your reference? Figuring out why will help you to make adjustments according to your own personal taste, and your style will start to emerge from the act of making what you like to make and bringing focus to whatever you love about the subject. Alright, looks like this piece is done. Let's see it without the filter in real life.
Okay, so pretty, so nice.
Oh, thank you, thank you. See, she has freckles and everything.
Wow.
Ready?
Okay. Whoa, that's really neat. Well, that was not what I was expecting.
I know, me neither.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Good job, baby.
Look at the freckle.
That's so cool.
Isn't that weird? It's like an alien bar or something, like the bathroom of an alien nightclub.
I can totally see that. Good job, baby.
Yeah, so I had no idea that purple, green, and like orange would be the ones to stand out. I thought it would be like blue, yellow, and brown. Definitely brown. I thought there would be so much brown. But somehow her skin actually avoided being bright blue and came out looking skin-like. I promise, I didn't cheat. I have the footage. Even though I have a really long way to go still, I wouldn't be the artist that I am today without those people who showed me how to study what I love. I think I've ranted enough about values for today. But that being said, if you're not sure what equipment I used to make today's painting, and you're looking to get into digital art, you might enjoy my video on everything you need to start digital art. I hope this was as interesting to you as it is to me. And if this isn't the first video from me that you've watched all the way through, please consider subscribing. I'm here for you every single week. Bye!